everyone. My name is Casey Schmaliker from New Frontiers Executive Function Coaching, and I'm here with Beth and Dan Greenwood from Greenwood Associates. And so thank you so much, Dan and Beth, for joining today. I really wanted to launch this series of just showing to everyone that we work with, everyone in this community, about some of the back dealings, the back conversations that go behind the work that we do, and why as a community we love working together. So just to kind of jump into things, do you guys mind telling us in the audience a little bit more about what Greenwood Associates is and then what you guys do with them?
Yeah, sure. Thanks for having us, Casey.
Yeah,
We're
thank
glad to
you.
be here. We love working with New Frontiers. You guys are an outstanding organization, and we keep popping you up on the best in the Bay Area. Keep voting you guys up because we really love the work that you do and the care with which you take care of your clients. So at Greenwood Associates, we have a career assessment and process that we go through with clients, and we teach other people, other programs, other counselors how to use the Greenwood process, Greenwood system process. And it involves first the person thinking about who they are and going through a self-exploration. Then the assessment matches them with their top 100 jobs, so they learn about those top 100 jobs, and then they narrow those jobs down to their top 3, and an action plan is built that gives them steps to take to achieve their goal of being one of those top career options. So we do it personally. We have private clients, but really what we love doing is working with professionals and organizations like New Frontiers to help deploy this to a bigger population, to help kids figure out where they want to go and then work backwards from that, starting with the career in mind. I want to become a this, and then all those educational decisions and experiential decisions kind of line up with a focus towards those goals to become that thing that they have identified as being their best fit career.
And I've always, when I've done it with a couple of my clients myself, the Greenwood assessments, and it was something concrete to use with clients of what they were reaching for, and not this abstract of I want to be, but a lot closer to something that they felt came from themselves as opposed to someone else telling. And I know in my experience working with you guys, anytime there was a question, like that collaborative piece. And so I do sometimes envy your clients are both individuals that are seeking the support, but also other professionals that are trying to provide the support. And so I've always kind of envied that aspect where you guys can straddle that line and benefit more. And so with that kind of great work, like I know a lot of people sometimes think like career assessments, oh, they give that in 12th grade, like it's senior year, and that's it. And it's one of, here's this free link and go to it. I'd love to hear, like I could talk forever about how helpful this is as compared to other ones, but I'd love to hear what you're proudest of about these reports, and maybe some of the things you've heard from some other professionals or just the individuals themselves about what's great about them. What's your proudest aspect of the reports that get sent out?
I guess the fact that it's a really comprehensive report, it's a really comprehensive and holistic process. When they take the assessment, we have them look at their abilities, we have them look at their interests, their personality, and we add the values piece. And the values piece is usually missing from career counseling, yet I almost think it's the most important. What is it that you want? Do you want a work-life balance, a good work-life balance? Great, look for something 9 to 5. Do you want to be wealthy and prestigious and respected? Then look at something else. I mean, we need all sorts of people out there for different jobs, and it really helps the student figure out who they are. It's the other thing about our assessment is everything is positive. There is nothing in the report that is negative. We give them their Myers-Briggs. You're not better if you're an introvert than an extrovert, but know who you are. It's not better if you prefer to work behind the scenes in a team rather than out front getting all the respect. We need both types of people. So know which one you are and go after that.
That's one of the things that you actually just hit on, like one of the examples that I often use in talking about the report. I had a client that he was diagnosed on the spectrum, but his report came back that he's an extrovert, and he didn't quite understand it. And this became such a evolution for him because he saw he thrived in extroversion, but he was shy. And so now, for what is often abstract with some students on the spectrum, it was when you're not shy, you're happier and you succeed more. And now he knew to work on being shy. So, like, just another thing, if I haven't said it to you guys before, like, it's just made such things tangible, which is missing a lot for a lot of students. They are looking for some answers, some direction. And so, if I haven't said it before, I'll say thank you again, because that's one of my clients I'm proudest of. He's now at a career and he's working, and it was a smooth transition and all of that. I think a lot had to do with the report. So I did want to shift over, and Dan and Beth, you guys can either give a joint answer or you can individually answer here. But I wanted to hear a little bit about, like, what a professional highlight is, whether from the past year or over your all career. Like, what's something that just makes you proud of the work that you guys are doing?
So I think what happened recently was we were given an opportunity to do a welcome message. So we had to produce a video
At a virtual
at a
conference.
virtual conference. And we came up with the idea of reaching out to our programs and having them give testimonials. And I guess we were just so proud of the testimonials that we received from our counselors and our clients. It really just hardened us to hear how they're using it, how important it is to what they do, how effective it is in working with their clients. And so, you know, we do a lot of, as you said, Casey, we talk a lot with our counselors. We have our own clients. So we spend a lot of time on the phone and we get to know them pretty well. But then to just step back and hear them say how their programs have adopted it and what a difference it has made was really just incredibly heartening, and just really made us so proud of the work that we're doing and the people we work with.
And I think along with that is when we started working, doing this, it was a person-to-person program, and it took 2 days to have the students take all of the individual assessments and then to pull everything together. And I think a real highlight of what we've done in the past 6 years is to automate it so that the students take the test and automatically get matched with those 100 jobs, taking all of these different things into consideration. Because now, instead of us just doing it or maybe training another counselor, it is being deployed in many, many programs. And so many of those programs have students that are struggling for personal reasons or whatever, and maybe feeling like the black sheep in their family, and everybody, brothers and sisters and parents, are super successful and they don't feel like they amount to anything. And then they get our report and they're like, what? I would be a great chef? Yeah, that's what I love to cook. I want to be a chef. And off they go.
It really brings so much closer that gap between how do I get there and the fear of, well, I can't wish for that. I'm never going to achieve that. And when you get a report that says, no, like, this is worth your time, it can do so much. And I love what you guys both were hitting it. It's one thing to be confident in your product or service. It's another thing to feel pride in what you do. That requires that feedback from people. I know I can go out and say, we do the best coaching, and compared to our peers, this is why we're better. But we're all human. It's nice hearing from people, not just that it's good work, but also in the field we're in, this education space, this coaching space, right? We're not in it to make a lot of money. There's plenty of other fields to go into for that. But really seeing that impact you can have on people's lives. And I know there's been a couple of times that even some parents had that sigh of relief of, I'm so happy it didn't say that they can be an astronaut. Like they keep saying they're going to be an astronaut, and just like you said about the positive impact, it's not focusing on what you can't be, even though there is that one little section of you shouldn't look into these areas, like they're not suited for you. But that's only 10 out of the 100 of what you can. So I think that's great in that empowering aspect. So just to toss in a little fun question, before we actually get to this one, I would love to just hear what it's like working together. So you guys are married, and so what's that like? Like I could see it being a double-edged sword, but I'd love to just hear. Anytime that I've been on a conversation with you guys just seem like the best tag team, and so I'd just love to hear a little bit, like for people to hear, like what's it like working together?
Is this before COVID or during COVID?
Well, for you guys, work wasn't even an escape when you guys before COVID. So I'd love to hear the before, because hopefully we'll be back to some normalcy somewhat soon.
You know, Beth and I have always worked together. We met when we were both working at the same school. We've always worked at the same school. So we've really kind of gotten used to each other and kind of know each other. What's really beautiful about this relationship is the strengths that we bring to it are very different and very, very much simpatico with each other. I have strengths in technology. Beth has strengths with people. And so the combination of the two really allow us to force multiply what we could do individually.
We have finally diagnosed Dan as being oh, what did we call it?
Face blind.
Face blind. So if he walks into a breakfast and he saw you, he would know you because he sees you a lot. But if he can't see somebody in context, whereas I was the director of admissions 25 years ago at this school when we met, and I can still tell you the names of the families that were applying for kindergarten and what their kindergartners' names were. So we have different strengths. I have certain reaching out and organizational strengths, and he just wants to start planning the new thing and dreaming about how to make things better. And
I'm definitely more aligned with Dan, I can tell you that much. I was a bartender in a past life, and I could never remember anyone. I would always I could remember faces. Names were difficult for me, which is a bad thing as a bartender. But I got very used to using informal nouns. So like, hey, what's up, man? How's it going, buddy? Like that's what I leaned on.
Another one.
So you guys have been in academia forever, it sounds like throughout your career. And like, I'd love to hear just if you guys could go back, take a Greenwood assessment at the bright young age of 16, what do you think your like top other job matches or other passions would be if you had another life to kind of choose another course?
Bartender for sure.
Yeah, I think it's interesting because I actually did take a Greenwood as a 16-year-old because my mother developed this system. And so at the time that she gave it to me, I wanted to be a lawyer. I had it in my mind that I was going to be a lawyer. And we went through the process, and she kind of said, you know, Dan, school administration would be really good for you. And I was in school, I was in high school, and I was like, I don't envy my school administrators. You know, that's not the person I wanted to be. But I went to college, and then after college, I got a job in education as a computer teacher, and man, I loved it. And she was absolutely right. I absolutely loved education and became a teacher, then an administrator, then a head of school, then the associate director of California Association of Independent Schools. So just helping kids learn, grow, become their best selves is what I've always wanted to do. And now we've extended that kind of education into their adult lives, but it's still very much the same, helping them grow and mature and learn about the world around them and find their place in it.
I've been
So I think education is where I'm supposed to be, period.
there are certain things that just are like a fiber in your being where, I mean, you guys perfectly exemplify. You can be in education, but it doesn't have to look like what you assume education looks like. So um, I love hearing that because it often can reaffirm I'm doing what I should be doing. I'm doing what I want to be doing. And so that passion is great to hear. And I will tell you, Beth, bartending gets old. I'm now someone that goes to bed by 10 p.m. the latest, and back then, I guess it's also early 20s will do this to you. I would work until 4 a.m. and then I'd wake up at 8 a.m. to go to the next job. Do not miss those days at all. But Dan, I got to put you on the spot. So not only do you work with your wife, but you work with your mother. What's that like as well? And I know I can lean back on just saying like
Well,
my mom is like I'm the most proud of everything that my mom's accomplished in her life. So I'd just love to hear like being able to go out and promote and administer something that your mom created. What does that feel like?
do you want to know what it's like to work with your husband and your mother-in-law?
That honestly, Beth, that is more interesting. So I'd love to hear it.
Especially when he's the favorite son.
Yes. Well,
Are you the youngest, Dan?
I'm the only son. We're one of
Oh,
two.
there you go. Okay.
Youngest. But no, it has been really, and my mother is amazing. She developed this from 1987 forward. As Beth said, we took it into the modern age by aggregating all of the assessments into one assessment, then writing an algorithm with her to help find those careers for which that profile is a good match. And so that was a lot of fun. But, you know, mom is always just learning, doing, moving. Now she's developing the GS50 Plus, which is for, you know, that kind of encore career, that fulfillment in post, you know, post productivity.
Retirement.
Yeah, post productivity phase of your life. So no, it's been great. And she built this community in this space with therapeutic programs and counselors
She
that are
was doing a
dealing with.
lot of placements. She would meet with a lot of students and do placement with them. And so she knew a lot of the therapeutic programs that we are currently working with.
Right. So we kind of stepped into a community that she had built over years, that and a welcoming community that, you know, respected the Greenwood name, and that's made a huge difference.
It's
So
great.
yeah.
And so I want to end, and I'm going to take away one of your answers, Dan, but I want to, if you have any kind of last words of advice, whether it be students going into, whether it be Greenwood or another type of career assessment, or even for other professionals within that educational realm, what's some advice that you might share with them? And the answer I wanted to take away from you guys is you can't say go into business with your wife and your mother. But other than that, what would be some parting words that you would
Not
share?
for the faint of heart. Not to be done lightly.
I would say the importance, one thing that I would really recommend, if not the Greenwood something, but really helping the student figure out what it is they want to do before they pick their college. I mean, so often college is about the name or alumni, where the parents went, the football team, whatever. And so many of the clients that we work with are the 18 to 24-year-olds that went to college but didn't really know why they went. And then they end up at home in the parents' basement, and we're trying to help them get back on track. So really, to really help the students think about what it is they want to do. And it's not always college, and that's what we do with our action plans. Sometimes it's let's get a certificate and let's get out there and do something. And if you love what you're doing, then maybe you're going to be willing to go back and work for that associate's degree, and then maybe the bachelor's degree, and have stepping stones to build towards something. Because once you find your passion, then you're unstoppable.
That's it. It's really identifying that interest. If you're in high school, you want to hopefully identify and foster an interest. And if that turns out to be something that's really part of who you are, it'll become a passion. And then that passion will turn into a purpose. And once you have people who have a purpose in life and who are willing to work hard, that's it. You know, that will make them successful. And it won't matter what their IQ is, or where they went to college, or if they went to college, or how handsome they are. It is the biggest predictors of success are people who identify and work with purpose and are willing to work hard doing it and overcome obstacles. So
That's grit.
that's grit.
Yep.
That's Dr. Duckworth's work. And we heavily promote that in the Greenwood system because we recognize that what we're trying to do is help them identify those areas of interest that then can hopefully be fostered and turned into passion.
And this is why I love working with you guys. Maybe if you changed some of those words that you guys just said, we'd be describing coaching about
Yeah.
setting goals. You don't just work like if I'm skinny, which I'm not going to be that much longer, my metabolism's catching up to me. But if I was skinny, I wouldn't set a goal of losing 50 pounds. And if my goal was losing 50 pounds, I'm not going to work towards it. It's not for me. And so I love how you guys touch on that of if college isn't a goal, you might just be wasting money. Or if college without any purpose and you don't see motivation, I wonder why. Well, because you don't know why you're doing it. And so it really is just such a complementary aspect of like knowing what you're working towards is essential to actually work towards it. Now that's not to say, and I will just finish this, and if you guys wanted to throw anything in, but that doesn't mean you can't change plans. Like, and that's why I know Greenwood gives 100 recommendations of careers because me, I'll use myself. I went to college. I went to Lafayette College, one of the top engineering schools in the country. I went as an electrical engineer. I went to my first day of electrical engineering and I dropped out literally that day. And then I went into government law and economics, and now I'm doing work that I'm passionate and love. So just for everyone else, just setting a goal doesn't mean that goal doesn't change sometimes. And that's one of the benefits of Greenwood is maybe you start going for one of those top 5 jobs within a certain field, and then you realize it's not for you. And that's okay because you got 95 more that you can lean on. So.
Well, and that's why we narrow it to the top 3. And because it does take that more investigation. You know, you need to go in and take some courses. You need to go in and talk to people who are doing that. And you need to get an internship and live that life and learn more about it. And if it's the right thing, it will be a self-fulfilling prophecy. And if it's the wrong thing, it's giving you more information to know that you need to turn into a different direction. But as long as you're being focused and being intentional, you're going to be more likely to progress.
Yeah. So on those words, thank you so much, Dan and Beth. I know I'll see you around. We're always on those professional roundtables and stuff. So I look forward to more from you guys, and I hope you guys stay safe through the rest of the winter.
Well, thank you, Casey.
Thanks,
We
Casey.
appreciated this. This was great.
All right. Thanks, guys.